Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning, and you know what time it is. It's time for the flea market, baby. Let's go. And welcome back to a beautiful Sunday morning at the flea market here in Tokyo, Japan. This is, of course, the Oi Racecourse Flea Market. A lot of people have been asking me where this is. Well, here you go. It's not a big secret. This place is actually on Google Maps. And as you can see, it looks like it's very sunny, but because it's later in the season and summer is behind us, it is absolutely a perfect temperature to be doing this. It was a great day, and let's see what we can find. All right, so before we continue, I'd like to ask you guys something. There's no sponsor, don't worry about it, but YouTube has kind of stopped showing my videos for whatever reason. I just kind of stopped having the impressions that I used to overnight. I think it's because I was denied for monetization. I'm reapplying soon and hopefully that'll get resolved, but for now, if you guys could help me out, please check out the playlist that I'm linking in the description so you guys can check out all my previous videos, especially the one before this. It could use some love. And yeah, let's continue. Now, I spy with my little IA PlayStation 1 pile. This is G Generation F, a SD Gundam game. Now, SD Gundam stands for Super Deformed. That means the Gundams are smaller and, well, you know, deformed. That's just how they call them. And this is a strategy game. And what's fun about this one is it has a lot of stories with campaigns from almost every Gundam series up to the making of this game. So it's pretty fun if you can read Japanese, of course. Then next to it we have Thousand Arms, a isometric RPG for the PlayStation. Fun times. And Million Classic, which is pretty funny because we're actually at a race course right here. Jantaku Boy, a Game Boy Mahjong game that's pretty fun and relatively unknown, I think. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, or just Phoenix Wright 3 for the Game Boy Advanced. And Pocket Densha, another one that I really regret didn't picking up. The reason I didn't pick these up was because that they were pretty much empty boxes. I think there might have been a game inside, but they definitely felt way too light. So I didn't want to take the chance. Now here's a fun little stall that you find at the flea market sometimes. This guy's selling bonsai trees, and I just wanted to show how the flea market is so varied in stuff that you can find, right? Here's a vintage toy stall right across from him. He had all of these old Godzilla, Mickey Mouse, really from the 60s, 70s, all the way up to the 90s. And this guy had all of these metal signs. You find these at Nakano Broadway, which we went to in my previous video. But his prices were definitely about half of what you can find them for there. They're really fun. They're pretty simple old signs, but really cool to decorate your house with. Now here's a little box of cart-only games. This is Ganbare Goemon 2, super scuffed. And yeah, fun to find these. Let's go through them. Voltron, another classic for the Famicom. Mach Rider, a racing game that I'm actually still looking for. And Road Fighter, another one of those classic Konami arcade titles for the Famicom. Then X's, it's a shoot 'em up with weirdly shaped background. It's got all of these hexagons. And here's Espa Adventure Corps, a game that I don't know anything about, but it looks really fun. We've talked about this one before, Famicom Jump Hero Retsuden, a absolute must play if you're into the Jump comics. And B-Wing, another one of those Famicom shoot 'em ups that's really fun but really difficult. Here's a Street Fighter 2 for the Super Famicom. And when I asked the seller about these, he wanted like 400 or 500 yen for each, which is way too much for absolutely trashed cards like this. Here's Atlantis, no Nazu. They're good, they're fun games, but look at the state on these. It's got marker on it. And Indo, The Way of the Ninja, a fun little RPG on the Super Famicom. But yeah, again, really like dirt, scratches. I wouldn't even know if these played. Look at this art type. It's an absolute tragic condition, but still fun. If they were like 100 yen, I would have probably snagged them. Maybe 200-300 yen for some of these. But yeah, here's Ozumo 2 for the N64. This one is fun. It's actually a really fun little N64 exclusive for Japan. Finishing off with Populous, a strategy game that's in a book. This is one of those guys that just wins crane games and sells the prizes at the flea market, which is a great way to do it because I would be spending a lot more than this if I were to actually play the crane games because I'm just really terrible at them. But here's some One Piece ones that just came out. This Beyond the Level edition of like this One Piece character was 10,000 yen. That's so much money. But considering this one just came out and you can't buy these anywhere else, I guess it's a good deal. Now, browsing through some of these tarps on the inside section of the flea market, a Tekken 5 arcade stick for the PlayStation 2. I've actually been looking for a PlayStation 1 / PlayStation 2 arcade stick, and this one looked to be pretty good. He asked 500 yen for it, which I guess is a no-brainer, so I had to check it out, right? Let's open it up. And yeah, everything seems to be in it. This thing was yellowed and it was not in mint condition at all, but I like to mod arcade sticks. I have a 8BitDo older arcade stick that I still use almost daily because it syncs to the Super Nintendo wireless receiver and stuff. So yeah, everything seems to be in good condition, but now I have the trouble of carrying this giant thing in this tiny bag. He didn't have any other bags for the rest of the day. It's still the beginning of the flea market, so yeah. Let's look at this table as I try to balance my camera in one hand and this giant, unfortunate arcade stick in the other one. There are some Godzilla figures. Now these are a dime a dozen. You can find these almost everywhere and they're so affordable, and it's a really good time to be a Godzilla fan, especially when you're in Japan. Really fun to find these all the time. Now here's a fun little thing to find that you can't find anywhere else. Not even Hard Up has this kind of stuff. These are some Pokeballs, and next to it are a assortment of bags that were basically given out with promotional items. So like when you go to a new Pokemon movie or a Pokemon event, you would get like a card or a figure in this bag, and they just had the bags. Now it wouldn't be a flea market episode without finding a box of bootleg stuff. This is pretty fun. It's a box of Pikachu figures, I guess, with a mix of Japanese and Chinese text on it. It was 800 yen. Here's a table full of American G.I. Joe figures. I don't know what these go for. I don't know if these are rare or not, but they're fun to find all the way here in Japan, right? I guess they sold them here as well. Now this, alright, this is a remote control toilet. I guess it rides around. I actually found this. Yeah, the lid opens with the remote, and I guess you can drive it around too. This would be more considered a art piece than anything else. He had crazy prices on like the worst condition consoles imaginable, but hey, you never know what you're gonna find at the flea market. Maybe someone will pick this PS3 up. Now, as a giant Boss Coffee aficionado, I swear I can't get enough of these little cans of sweet, addictive coffee. You hate it or love it, but here's a Boss Coffee promotional t-shirt. You can't buy these in any store. You have to like get points by buying coffee and do a whole thing, but really cool to find this at the flea market. Of course, it's not going to be my size, being a 6'4" man in Japan, and that comes with its downsides, but fun to find these stuff, right? Cool little console TV. I'm sure someone would want to lug this home. And Ridge Racer Type 4, he had this in a box full of other assortment stuff, and when I asked him how much it was, he straight up hit me with 1,000 yen, which is an insane price for PS1 games in general, let alone a common game like this that you could find for a couple hundred yen. The disc was all scratched up, but it was all there. But yeah, definitely an indication of how the flea market is starting to get more and more popular, which means the prices go up. Unfortunate, but hey, I can't complain since I'm putting this on the internet as well. Then this family was selling their entire Wii Fit console bundle, which at 2,000 yen, I would have 100% bought this because I like Wii Fit and I like the Wii, and I still need a Wii, especially because I want to mod one with all the cool homebrew stuff that you can do with the Wii these days. But she said the disc wasn't working, and on a Wii, they're so common and so not expensive that if I were to buy one, then I would want one with at least working condition, right? Because the games are so cheap. The Wii, I really want to get more into the Wii. I never had one growing up, but it's a great little console and definitely has some bangers on it. Speaking of bangers on the Wii, Taiko no Tatsujin Super Goka Edition, coming with its own little drum set and all that good stuff. It's good. This was on the Wii as well, and yeah, definitely one of those games that you could be getting for pretty cheap, 2,000 yen. They also had this cool little Kirby figure in the box next to it. Now this is why it's always worth to go through some of these guys that are selling signs and poster. This is a Star Ocean, the second story poster. 500 yen was a bit much for me, but it's a cool little poster, and it had both sides. Would have snagged it if it was a bit cheaper because I do like decorations. Not really rare, but it is uncommon to find this in the box, a Wii U premium set. But as a rule, I just don't pick up disc-based systems because they're just never working, especially at the flea market. Same goes for these PlayStation 1s. Fun to find, but it's just too much of a risk at the flea market. You gotta treat this stuff as if it's junk and it just doesn't work, right? Especially considering that it's all outside. Now this was pretty fun, a CD Burger. It's a CD player, but I guess they just called it CD Burger. It's from Casio. And another box of Game Boy games. Let's go through them. This is Baseball, Bomberman GB2. A lot of these were in pretty poor condition, and he was asking a solid 500 per game, and it's still worth it to go through it at that price because some games go for a lot more and you just have to find them, right? Here's Alleyway, a Arkanoid type game. Famista, I love the Famista baseball series. They're really fun on multiple consoles. Bomberman Max, a Bomberman game for the Game Boy Color. And Yu Yu Hakusho, based off of the popular anime. F1 Race, one that I'm still looking for, but not for the prices that he was asking. And Ring Rage, a wrestling game for the Game Boy. It's not bad, to be honest. Chibi Maruko-chan 2, no idea what this is, but it looked fun. I guess it's one of those old animes. And Solar Striker. Now this is exactly what I was talking about. For 500 yen, Solar Striker is a good deal. So I ended up picking this one up. And there you go. Like I said, I bought Solar Striker for the Game Boy. Super happy with it. I've been playing it a lot actually. It's a shoot 'em up that just looks fantastic on this modded Game Boy. I can't be happier with this. It's always worth it to find these games for 500 yen. That's about what it's worth on Mercari or the internet. I didn't mind because at the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself, am I getting 500 yen worth of fun out of this? And that's absolutely the case. I'm gonna try to find some of the more hidden flea markets these days because, as I said, the weather's getting better and better every day. It's not so super hot anymore. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit that dislike button if you disliked it. Don't forget to watch that playlist, and appreciate you guys. See you guys next time.